Hello and welcome to the Cryptocurrency News channel. We're going to talk about two things today. One, the Vechain x Cardano collab for an NFT project. It's with some kind of like ninja art NFT. Could bring the two chains closer together. Then we're also going to talk about sanctions versus crypto and the centralization and decentralization of cryptocurrency and how that actually works. And like kind of like the fight between the two, especially with exchanges and countries' regulations, as Japan has joined the fray. So let's actually talk about the Vechain and Cardano project first. It is called the 88 Ninjas and Yukio Warriors project. It's a giveaway collab. I'll actually link it in the comments. So it's a cross-chain collab giveaway. They've partnered, so we have partnered with 88 Ninjas to bring Vechain Cardano closer together. 88 Ninjas is obviously an art collab on Cardano, and Yukio Warriors is obviously an art collab on Vechain. So they're trying to make both of them more popular by joining forces. Hopefully it does bring the Cardano and Vechain team closer together. 88 Ninjas has 15.4k followers, and Yukio Warriors on Vechain only has 1.6k followers. So generally, like 88 projects are going to have more followers. They're going to be more popular because 88 is a bigger chain. However, partnering together could actually have some like cross promotion and promote both chains as well as both projects. This is one of those like follow, like, and retweet and tag a bunch of people, and then you might actually give something in an airdrop giveaway. I personally do not participate in these because I don't really collect random NFTs. But some of these NFTs, especially the cross-collab ones, could actually become pretty popular, especially if they actually come out with a game in the future. So you actually might want to check this out sometime. Doesn't really cost you anything, especially if you have a spare Twitter account and you can just retweet. You might get some of this art stuff, and who knows? You might be able to sell it for a couple of bucks in the future. So I do like projects that bring 80 and Vechain together, or like any kind of cross collab project that cross promotes. I think it's actually good for both chains. And even though this is just a smart thing with art collabs, these NFTs could actually be worth something. If you collect a bunch of these NFTs, you might be able to sell them for a couple of bucks in the future. So there's no reason to like not give this a shot. But not really like a business partnership, but it is a collab between the two. Could be like a game, a collectible or a game sometime in the future. And there's a lot of these art collabs going on, but this is one between 88 and Vechain, so I thought I'd actually mention it. Now, the big news for today is actually that Japan has asked the regulators and Ministry of Finance to ask crypto exchanges to comply with sanctions restrictions. Now, all Japanese exchanges will have to comply because they've actually made the penalty very, very big. Now, the penalty is like over $8,000 and 3 years in prison if you actually transact to sanctioned individuals that are subject to the asset freeze. So I do actually think like both Russia and Belarus are in this asset freeze area, and Japan might force its centralized exchanges to not trade with that at all. And that's a problem with centralized exchanges because they can just block you out or not provide any liquidity. Now, a lot of the big centralized exchanges have actually refused to freeze out all Russian citizens and basically focus on those who have the asset freeze against them. But Ukraine is pushing more and more for a freeze on all Russian crypto assets, and I think some crypto exchanges are going to crack. The problem is most of our crypto volume actually goes through centralized exchanges, and centralized exchanges are very, very easy to target. And because they're easy to target, they sometimes have to comply. Now, Binance is a little trickier because Binance does not have like a centralized headquarters. They are basically just flying around the world, basically operating from a decentralized locations. And the thing is, like, if Binance has some kind of secret lab in China or secret headquarters in China, I think the Chinese government will actually be pretty accommodating for them actually wanting to help Russia, because China has indicated a willingness to actually help Russia, and that's why the US has threatened China with negative consequences, whichever those might actually be, if they do so themselves. The financial regulator, this is one in Japan, detailed that it and the Ministry of Finance have made a request to crypto exchanges in the country not to process transactions subject to asset freeze sanctions against Russia and Belarus. They actually just might be shutting off all of Russia. All payments, including payments by crypto assets, cannot be made to sanctioned persons without prior permission. The penalty for unauthorized payments, this is from Bitcoin.com, To sanction persons includes 3 years imprisonment and or a fine of not more than 1 million yen, which is around $8,441.81. So this is actually pretty basically harsh penalties. And I think governments are going to start enacting harsh penalties to convince the exchanges not to go against the sanctions. So this is where one area where crypto might be going, what might run up against sanctions. Now, for like truly decentralized cryptos that use peer-to-peer for everything, this isn't a problem. But most cryptos draw their liquidity from the international markets and exchanges. And the thing is, like the exchanges, like countries will probably completely shut the exchanges off from their banking system, which would kill liquidity unless they comply. So I think there's definitely like huge momentum, like huge incentives for exchanges to comply. And this is one way that crypto won't be able to go around sanctions. Monero is another story because Monero kind of has its own dark web thing, and maybe there's like peer-to-peer cash outs or something. But for most cryptos, that's not the case. So Japan has definitely joined. Japan has shown like how much governments can influence crypto and how much governments can actually control crypto, at least from a centralized exchange perspective, and how powerful that actually is. So I think like the crypto versus sanctions question will keep going on. And I do actually think like Russia and other sanctioned countries might actually have to turn to privacy cryptos that actually have like maybe P2P cash out options in the future. But you can't run a country on P2P. But maybe like we'll see how big that can grow, and we'll see how much Western governments will try to actually ban such coins. So that's the news from today. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe and hit that bell notifications button. Thank you and have a nice day.